If you started your research because this is the year that you plan on buying a condo in Florida, you've come to the right place. Besides introducing you to the condo market here in Cocoa Beach, I'm going to go over 3 things at the end of this video that could save you thousands of dollars if you're not aware of. So stick around. My name is Larkin and I'm a real estate agent here in the Cocoa Beach area. And when I'm not making videos like this one, I help people buy and sell real estate. Whether you're moving next week, next month, or next year, I am certain that you have questions and I am here to help. I'll have a link in the description below that'll take you to my calendar. My contact information is also there. Let's schedule a phone call. In case you weren't aware, there are over 31,000 condominiums here in Brevard County. Most of these condos can be found somewhere along the A1A corridor beachside, with over 6,500 condos available in the Cocoa Beach area, almost 5,000 condos available in Cape Canaveral. You'll learn that from Port Canaveral to Patrick Space Force Base is over 30% of the condos here in Brevard County. Besides having the largest amount of condominiums in the Cocoa Beach area, you'll see we also have the largest variety too. You can get oceanfront, riverfront, canal front, dry lots. There are low-rise condos, mid-rise condos, and high-rise condos too. There are efficiency condos that are about 192 square feet, all the way up to the luxurious penthouses of over 5,000 square feet in size. There are pet-friendly condos and condos that don't allow pets. There are Airbnb-friendly condominiums and other condos that have 1 month, 3 months, 6 month, 1 year rental restrictions, or they won't allow rentals at all. We've got the smaller condominium complexes that have less than 12 units to the large, massive condominiums that have over 100 condominiums in the complex. You got a variety of parking options too. It could have a private garage, a shared garage, parking under the building, covered parking, or just open and assigned spots too. So what kind of condo do you want? Some questions I'll be asking you are, how many bedrooms would you like? How many bathrooms do you need? What size condominium do you need, like the square footage? Do you have pets or plan on having pets? If so, how many and what size? How big is your pet? Do you plan on renting the property either now or at some point in time? Because it's important to know what the rental restrictions are in each condominium. Do you need a garage? Would you like to have a pool? What other amenities would you be interested in? Tennis courts, racquetball courts, basketball workout facilities, that kind of thing. Let's introduce you to the low-rise condominiums. These are typically 1 or 2 floors. The second floor, there is no elevator, so it would be a walk-up if you're living on the second floor. These are also some of the older condominiums here in the Cocoa Beach area that were built in the 50s or the 60s. They tend to be on the smaller size too. The efficiencies, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, generally between the 200 square feet to about 1,000 square feet. Most of these do not have laundry inside the condominium, but most of the complexes do have laundry somewhere on site. Of course, there are exceptions to this. Captain Cove, for example, in Cocoa Beach is 2-story building. You're either on the first floor or the second floor. These are 1,300 to 1,800 square foot condominiums, 2 or 3 bedrooms. You have a garage, you're on the water, you get a boat slip. There's also the larger complexes like Casa del Sol, Windward East, or Beachwinds, where you have the taller buildings that are on the water, either on the river or on the beach. And then somewhere on the property, you have the 2-floor buildings too, which have ground floor and second floor condominiums. These are usually 2 or 3 bedroom condominiums that are between 1,200 and 1,500 square feet. The mid-rise condominiums, these are between 3 stories and 9 stories tall. Most of the 3-story buildings do have elevators, but there are some that are walk-ups. Any of them that are 4 to 9 stories will have elevators in them. If you're looking for a brand new condominium, we have the Surf that's just wrapping up construction in downtown Cocoa Beach. Occupancy should be happening in 2024. And there are a handful of other new or new-ish buildings that were built in the last 20 years in the Cocoa Beach area. Just so you know, the city of Cocoa Beach implemented height restrictions in the 1990s because of some of the taller buildings that were being built, Stonewood and Xanadu, for example. They did this because they wanted to maintain our small beach feel, and a lot of the local residents did not want us to become similar to other beach communities like in South Florida, where the locals sometimes refer to it as being bokeified. They didn't want that here in Cocoa Beach. Right now, the maximum height that's allowed to be built for condominiums is 75 feet from the crest of the road. And if you're looking for a high-rise condominium, we have 5 of them that are in Cocoa Beach. These are 10 stories or higher. Las Palmas is 10 stories. Coral Seas is 11 stories. 2100 is 13 stories. Xanadu is 15 stories. And Stonewood is 16 stories. A fun fact about Stonewood, not only is it the tallest building in all of Cocoa Beach, it's also the tallest condominium in all of Brevard County. Well, that's an overview of the different types and styles of condominiums we have here in the Cocoa Beach area. Now it's time to find the right one for you. Remember the qualifying questions I asked earlier? How many bedrooms, how many baths, do you have any pet, etc.? There's a couple other important questions I'd like to ask you. Do you want to be on the ocean or just near the ocean? Would having a peek at the ocean be okay, or maybe a side view? If you're looking for direct ocean, do you want to see the ocean from every single room? Or do you just want to be close to the beach? You don't necessarily have to be on the beach and see the water. Just know this, the widest point of Cape Canaveral or Cocoa Beach that have condominiums are on the west side that are on the Banana River. And at the widest point, you're just over a mile away if you're living in one of these complexes. Most of Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral is actually about a half mile wide. So if you're living on a condominium other than those two sections, then you're probably 4 or 5 blocks away from the ocean. Some other questions we will need to have a conversation on is, what kind of price point are you looking at, and what kind of monthly commitment, your budget that you'll have as well. The last 2 years in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral, we've sold over 1,200 condominiums, ranging in price from $75,000 at the low end to $2 million at the high end. Average price was $412,000. Median sales price was $365,000. 10% of these sales were under $200,000, and 28 of the sales were over $1 million. Just to give you an idea of the range of prices that are here in Cocoa Beach and Cape Canaveral. So that's an overview of what the prices are. Another part of your budget, of course, is what the monthly condominium fees are going to be. These condo fees cover insurance, lawn care, common area maintenance, water, sewer. Sometimes it includes cable and or internet. Because of costs of insurance here in Florida have gone up so much, so has these condo fees. Because of the cost of insurance, condo fees have been going up the last 18 to 24 months. In the past, even though condo fees have varied in the past, they vary now, it was pretty common to find a condominium association that was under $400 a month. Now it's rare to find one that's under $400 a month, and most condo fees are between $500 and $800 per month. Other factors that will cause the association fees to go up and the overall cost of a condominium to go up are some changes that are happening in the Florida laws. In 2025, condominiums are supposed to be fully funded. They're to have a mitigation reserve study that looks at the long-term expenses that the condominium is responsible for, such as the roof, painting the building, paving the parking lots, resurfacing the pool, and they want to make sure that the money's there for when these items are due. They'll look at the roof, for example, and say it has 12 years of life expectancy left. They'll do the math and figure out what you need to have as a line item for the roof in 12 years in order to pay it without having an assessment. Same thing on all the other line items that are typically in the reserve. There are some condos that have put the minimum amount in their reserves in order to keep the association fees low and just planned on having an assessment when these long-term items were due. You need a new roof, you get an assessment. You need to paint the building, here's another assessment. And this kind of strategy will no longer be an option for these condominiums once this new law goes into effect in 2025. You could see association fees go up in order to add more money to these reserve line items. They could decide to do a one-time large assessment in order to dump money into the reserves to replenish these items so the money will be there. Or they could do a combination of raising the fee and also doing some type of an assessment in order to get the funds into their reserves so they'll be ready to pay for these items when they come available. It'll really depend upon the associations and the owners on how they use their strategies in order to make this happen. Other changes in Florida law are going to require inspections on condominiums that are over 25 years of age that are along the A1A corridor to make certain that they're safe and secure. Phase 1 of the mitigation study is to do a visual inspection to make sure there's no cracks or spalling with the concrete and no signs that there could be safety issues. If during this visual inspection they do see large cracks that could be a safety concern, they'll order a phase 2 mitigation study. And this typically means that there's going to be some concrete work being done on the building and some form of assessment in order to pay for this concrete work because it is expensive. How much this assessment is going to be really depends upon the work that needs to be done, what kind of financial position the condominium's been. If they've been putting money into the reserves would be a great thing. I've seen on the low end, $10,000 to $12,000 assessments. It's not uncommon for the $20,000 to $30,000 assessments per unit, and there are some condominium complexes that have had assessments over $50,000. Typically, this isn't due all in one lump sum. They usually have 18 months to 2 years in order to collect this money. It's either by increasing or having a separate association fee, or the condominium itself will talk to the developer, maybe take out a second loan in order to pay it over a longer term. But these funds will need to be available in order for the concrete work to be done in order to keep the building safe and secure. Just know this, if the condominium that you're interested in has had the mitigation reports done to see the integrity of the building or the mitigation done on the reserve study, these reports are to be made available to you from the seller, the person that's selling the property, so you can review them and see what kind of condition they're in and what to expect financially. If you plan on getting a loan to buy your condo here in the new year, just know that Fannie Mae guidelines have been changing with condominium loans. Besides the usual questions of wanting to see the financial statement of the complex, wanting to know the owner to tenant ratios, having the condominium questionnaire answered so they can see the overall health of the complex, they're also asking for the last 6 months of minutes for the meetings that happen with the association to see if there's any mention of repairs that need to be done or upcoming mitigation studies or assessments. If there are mention of repairs in the minute, Fannie Mae is going to be asking for verification of either the work being done or what's the timeline for the work to be completed. With these new Fannie Mae guidelines, they are looking at everything, and it's making it a little bit more challenging for a loan to go through on a condominium if there are any signs of work needing to be done. So is now the right time for you to buy a condominium? Maybe. This is what I do know for a fact. We have more condominiums on the market today than we've seen in some time. We're getting close to the highest levels I've ever seen of condominium inventory here in Cocoa Beach, which was back in March 2019 when we had 266 condos to choose from. All indications are going to show the condominium inventory is going to continue growing over the next 6 to 12 months. Besides seeing the rise in our condominium inventory, we're over 230 at this time, we're also seeing a decline, a drop in the sale. The last 3 months, we've averaged 28 condominiums selling per month, which is less than we've seen over the last couple of years. The month supply of condominiums are also rising. We've been over 9 months for November and December in 2023. It's also taken longer for condominiums to sell too. All of this will help you with negotiations if you plan on buying a condo in the new year. Do you want more information on a specific condominium complex in Cocoa Beach or Cape Canaveral? Do you have any questions about the next step in buying a condominium? If so, we should probably talk. In the description below, I'll have a link to my calendar. My contact information is there. Either let's schedule a call or give me a call or text directly. I hope you found this information very helpful. My name is Eric Larkin with Real Brokers. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the next show.